The S&P 500 pre-market price on the 13th at 7:04 a.m. Central Time is 43.48. And the cloud lagging line 26 bars back, which reflects current price, the closing price, 43.49.61, still right around the bottom of the cloud, 26 bars back, 43.55.53. And in current price did make it above the baseline for current price, but then closed underneath it. That's not a good sign. Still above the conversion line, current price 43.01.15, and it did not make it below this high for a close, 43.32.68. If it does that, then the arrows could start getting pushed down in the NYA volume, breadth, and AD line as seen in the other video for today. And that coincides with the close for bars back, 43.35.66, a close underneath that for the end of day today on the 13th. And their price flip to the buy setup count 1 will happen. And then for sure we're going down to test the previous bottoms here. So these are the critical areas to watch: this high and this close on the 9th, 43.35.66. And the only other levels around the bottom of the cloud 26 bars back is the still valid trend factor down to 43.51 and the moving target R1 43.53. And to the immediate downside is the 21 EMA in solid blue here, 43.44.74. And to the immediate upside is the 50 EMA at 43.79.98. So those are the two closest moving averages. And to the downside is the weekly baseline, 43.28. The weekly 2018 broadening top and dashed red, 43.18. The daily horizontal line, 43.25, that signals going back into range 2 on the bottom and coming out of no man's land. And right before that is the pitchfork level 2, 43.32. And again, there's the 21 EMA, and right under there is the 20 simple moving average, 43.32. And right under there, the other moving target, S1 43.28. And to the upside is the relative retracement level 1, 43.65.67, the weekly conversion line, 43.78, and the daily baseline right here, 43.64.22. And closes above any of the ongoing supply lines and ongoing demand lines will be qualified. This first ongoing supply line to the upside is at 44.36.32 for today. The one right above it, 44.66.92. This ongoing demand line for today is at 42.26.45, and then this one down here is at 41.53.57, and this is zoomed out enough we can see some other ones that have been there for many months. So all the buy signals that I pointed out the other day are still valid. The only thing that concerns me is this conversion line in the daily chart is not back above the baseline, so that's the most concerning of them. And if that happens, then it's definitely a 100% buy signal. We have the QQE had the buy signal back here on the 6th. And the ATM slow trigger up crossed above its oversold line the other day on the 10th. And we can see from the down bar yesterday that the fast trigger ATM has printed a red area, so that's planing out and starting to point down slightly. And the pressure up is still at negative 2.0, and an indication was given on ATM chart lines, long-term oversold up. And all that means to me is that it's going to stay up, which means it's going to stay down here, this pressure. And the DMI plus is still above. The DMI minus, ROC 1, is still well above its oversold line, trying to punch through the overbought. And DM1 had its buy signal on the 9th, and it's kind of planing out here, but still well into its zone here before getting above overbought. And quickly, let me point out the ideal REI, the marker 1 ROC level, so you can see back here that the REI went above overbought and was sailing away up there enough to print its overbought region, and that meant that DM1 was well up there along with ROC. And then when REI came down and went back under oversold 40 for less than 5 days, and then went back above it, you can see that DM1 and ROC were still in the upper areas and definitely did not go below oversold. So there's the second buy zone right there on the REI when it went back above the oversold line. It happened a couple of other times over here too. So that's what we're looking for. Until that happens, this is in danger of rolling back over and going back under the oversold. As long as it stays within this region between oversold and overbought for the DeMarker 1, we're in good shape. Same thing with the ROC. And here's the overlap 3 buy signal. You can see the low over here, this close, and then the next day there was an up close, and then the next day a down close, and the next day it really took off and triggered the overlap 3 signal. So that's a major buy signal. I take it with a grain of salt at the index level though. This works best for individual equities, but again, it was enough to take notice of. And if we get the price flip back to the buy setup count 1 before the sell setup 9 end count prints, then this is going to become a threat to print the combo buy countdown 13. And the zigzag swing point is still valid at this D wave up 4 and D wave down 3. However, if there's a series of lower highs, and for that matter lower lows, but mainly lower highs, there will be another swing point at this D wave down wave 4 where it printed, and that will for sure indicate that we're in a down wave.